Hey guys, how's it going? We just got the closing bell for February 15th, and it was a pretty active day. We started out pretty flat, and then we suddenly started to get a bullish bid around 11 or 10:30, and we crossed above that second purple line up here. That was the important one. This bottom purple line was the more important one that I said we had to cross. And then we got above it, and we got above the second purple line. So we definitely went through that line with momentum, and that momentum carried us to the second purple line. We chopped sideways a little bit, and then we got more momentum to the upside later on in the day. And we can see that we closed near the highs of the day. So this is definitely bullish momentum, and that's what we were looking for. So now when we go to the daily, we can comfortably say that we have definitely bounced off of that EMA 20, and we've got momentum to the upside. Yes, we have a higher high over here from Monday, but given the motion we've seen so far and the amount of bullishness in the market, I don't think that's going to be an issue. So we're going to want to wait for updated volume numbers. So in a few hours, this number will get updated, and we'll see where we stand in terms of volume. It looks like we might come in just a tad under average, or it might be right around average. In any case, with the movement upwards, as long as it doesn't stay way down here like this, then we're comfortable. If we're somewhere near that average, we're comfortable in saying that this is very good momentum upwards. And our original viewpoint that we've been talking about for, I don't even know how long now, at least a week or two, where we said, okay, this market has a little bit more upside, and then we'll come back and we'll try again. So we've bounced off of this level. The only thing that would prevent us from moving higher and then coming back and testing this trend line is if we get caught at the previous high from Monday, and then we start chopping sideways, and then we challenge the trend line. Given what we've seen so far, though, in the last two sessions, it looks more likely that we will make a new high, and that will continue this trend upwards. So on our portfolios, we definitely want to have it pointed upwards, and then have a hedge if we need to. Right now, if you don't have a hedge, it's kind of okay, depending on how bullish your portfolio is. You might want to consider a hedge if we get near this trend line again. But for now, if you're not hedged, it's kind of okay, because we have some pretty good momentum to the upwards, and it really does look like we're bouncing off again this trend line, and that we're going to head higher. And we've got at least a week. Well, I don't want to say at least a week, but we have a couple days, at least to the end of the week, which is tomorrow. So I would be surprised unless something crazy happens over the weekend. That momentum should carry through the weekend and into the early part of next week. And we have the distinct possibility that it could carry on for maybe another week after that. So let's take a look how our VIX and TLT responded and see if that is in line with everything that I just said. So let's take a look at VIX first. VIX came down, that is good. So if you put on a VIX hedge, you probably lost a tiny bit of money, but it's a hedge, right? We're just protecting ourselves against that huge movement upwards. And if you have that hedge on, then you're a lot more comfortable with taking the view that I just talked about, which is, hey, if you want to point your portfolio to the upside, go ahead and do that. And we were talking about it without a hedge, but if you have that VIX hedge, then you are that much more confident and that much more comfortable in allocating a little bit more of your portfolio to the upside. Let's look at TLT. TLT moved back up above that MA 150. That's interesting. And just below that EMA 8. The EMA 8 is not going to be significant for TLT. We're only really looking at the longer moving averages when we're looking at TLT. So MA 200 for sure, MA 90 or 100. MA 50, yeah, but not in a huge and major way. So here we've moved back up. We're just in line with these this previous week right here. So nothing to get too excited about. I would call that sideways motion. So if I look, actually, if I consider from February 5th all the way until now, that is just slightly down. And I would still consider that sideways motion because we could bounce all the way up to here. So these highs right here of the previous week, we could bounce all the way up to there and then come back down, and that would start a new sideways channel. So unless we break back above that MA 200, I'm not going to get excited about any movement upwards in TLT. And unless we break this MA 90 right here, or 100, whichever you prefer, unless we break one of those, I'm not going to get too excited to the downside. So sideways chop in TLT for now, which allows the equity indices to do whatever that they're going to do, which right now looks like they're going to be pointed upwards. Now we put in a few tickers to remind ourselves to look at them this morning, and look at Apple. It was down and sideways all day until the last 5 minutes. And in the aftermarket, it's moving upwards. I wonder if they got some sort of news. That's really interesting. Let me see if I can find something. I'm blanking on the news site. Jeez. Why can I not think of this? I guess I'm just gonna have to use Yahoo because I'm completely blanking. It starts with a B. I'm completely blanking right now. I don't. So let's just see if Apple had anything. I could try Bloomberg or Thinkorswim, but we've got 48 minutes ago, 52 minutes ago. No. So we are talking about Buffett did selling some Apple stocks, so it might have been more than just rumor. But I'm not seeing anything on Yahoo Finance. Let's take a Benzinga. Ha, Benzinga. There we go. Let's go to Benzinga and see if we've got anything on Apple. $11 minutes ago, 9 minutes ago, an AI tool. I guess people could get super excited about an AI tool from Apple, but I mean, that would be really indicative that AI is entering a bubble if that's the case. But we'll see. For now, that's the only thing that we can see that we've got going on with in terms of what Apple might have traded upwards and gotten a lot of attention. So we'll see if it really is that bit of news. I don't expect this to last very long. It would be very surprising to me if Apple just suddenly reverses direction on that little bit of news. However, if we look on the daily basis, Yeah, it came and now it's above its MA200. So it could just be a bounce off of the MA200. We will see. We would need a green confirmation bar, which is a close above today's high, in order to confirm that bounce on the very short term. And then we would want to see two more strong bars like that to confirm it on a more medium term. So too early to say, but we'll see what tomorrow brings for Apple. If that is a bounce in Apple, then we just got another stock, another mega cap stock pulling the indices upwards. And that will help us with our view that the indices could continue to move on for another week or two. Oh, the other ones, though, didn't look so strong, right? NVIDIA and Amazon. Let's take a look at what they did. NVIDIA, oh, that's tiny. That's nothing. It's not even, didn't even come and touch the EMA 8, so I wouldn't be concerned about that. So far, we're not seeing NVIDIA drag down the index, and then Amazon. All right, and it's just another chop sideways. Hang on just a moment. I've got someone very aggressively knocking on my door. So give me just a moment. All right, sorry about that, you guys. So it doesn't look like Amazon or NVIDIA are dragging down the indices just yet. Apple, it looked like it was going to, but then it bounced off of the MA200. So we have no worries there. So for now, it's still looking strong. Or I shouldn't say it's looking strong. It's still looking like the giants, the top 5, top 6 stocks can still carry the entire market on their shoulders, and we can continue to move upwards. So we're going to continue to watch those, see if there's any breakdowns in any of those top 6 stocks, top 7 stocks. And when we see that, or if we do see that, then that's going to be an early signal that we would find a weakness inside the indices. So we don't have that yet. So everything that we've seen so far supports our view that this can go another week, a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks before we pull back to this uptrend or this trend line again. And then we will see, then we will have to reevaluate and see how likely that it is that we can break below that trend line and finally get our pullback or our correction. Okay, so that's all for today. We don't have any, tomorrow's Friday, we're not going to have any major reports in terms of earnings, and then we'll just take a quick look at this Fed Watch tool. I'm sure we're much more in line in May. We are now below 40%, which is where we need to be, 30 to 40%. I think we could probably go down a little bit more, but 30 to 40% probability is probably reasonable at this time. So I would expect it to creep a little bit lower, especially given the CPI data. If we get PPI data that supports that, then we will see that creep lower tomorrow, and then we will see weakness in the TLT, maybe enough to bring us back below or bring us below that MA90 right there, but nothing confirmed yet, right? We'll just have to see how that PPI report comes in. That's the only thing that we're really watching out for, and that might derail us on our movement upwards. But if that happens, it wouldn't mean, hey, we're going to drop down to the trend line right away and cross below. What it would mean is we might just chop sideways instead of moving upwards along this trend line. Okay, so for now, I'm going to keep my portfolios pointed upwards, maybe some baby hedges in place. But if you wanted to do without the hedges, if you're a little bit more of a risk taker, then you're probably okay taking that risk at this particular moment in time. Okay, that's it for today, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Have a wonderful rest of your day.